beautiful brunch, and it was
the first time. It was the first time. That's right. I met him in San Diego, but this is the first time he come to our house, and so I was in the living room or in the den, sitting on this white sectional couch that we always took very good care of, leather. We'd spend a lot of money. So he comes in and does a Fosberg flop, over backwards on the couch, and he wound up with one arm. Oh, by the way, he had dreads too, which was a little bit of a shock for a West Virginia boy. Anyway, so he did this Fosberg flop onto the couch, like he wound up like this. His leg was over the back, and his arm was over the back. And one leg was on the floor and one arm was on the floor. And at that point, he proceeded to crack one horrific fart.
And it was legendary.
And I thought, oh my God, what is my daughter doing? It's going nowhere but uphill since then.
You gotta swim the ball high. Empty room, nobody left in there.
Top that, suckers.
You gotta set the bar low, so you can just, so you can overachieve. Yeah, you overachieve. That's awesome. Wow.
Okay, he's next.
Okay,
There's a
Jason.
deafening silence. Yeah. All right.
You ready?
All right. Yeah, I'll go next.
Host it.
So I think with Gary, we need to talk about food.
Because there's nothing like it.
Because he gets pretty excited about food. There's this one time when we were having dinner and he was talking about how somebody cooked chicken or something. And it stuck with me and Diana. And I'll share you the story. So basically he's talking about how somebody cooked something and we're like, he's like, yeah, he was like upset about it. He's like, man, I can't believe that. He's like, and this was his description of the chicken that they cooked like the night before. He said, oh, it's filthy. and like me and Diana were like, whoa. And he's like, it was dirty. and then to top it off, he's like, it was nasty. And so me and Diana would, anytime me and Diana didn't like something, we would always quote Gary, and I was just talking about chicken, some chickeny. Yeah,
Was that something? He's kind of a slow learner.
But that's his description of food. You can tell he's passionate, and then, if you ever want to try and go like,
because he just described his fart that way.
If you ever want to go eat with Gary, good luck with that. Because you'll be like driving somewhere and he'll be like, actually, well, let's go here. You'll be on the route. You'll be like,
Never heard that before.
and then he'll be like, no, this place is good.
Actually.
Oh yeah, I don't care. You pick a place.
Yeah.
No.
And then you'll pick a place, and then he'll be like, no. But he said, go ahead and pick. I don't care. And then he'll be like, no, really? He's like, actually, we should go here. And he'll turn off route, and we get to this new place, and it's always an experience with Gary.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
But then when you go, he's like,
Very true.
this is awesome.
Yeah, it's in pursuit.
No,
It's
it's
in
either
pursuit.
1 or
It's either
10.
zero.
Yeah,
It's
this is the best place ever.
There's no in between.
It's in pursuit of good things. And then I have another story, and I have a prop.
Oh. Brad, Rob. Jason doesn't mess around.
And I highly endorse this process.
Oh.
Oh no.
I don't know what's in here necessarily. But it's an example of how Gary is. Like he can be so in the moment sometimes where he doesn't hear you, doesn't see you. He's very in the moment at times. And one time particularly, we were camping in Mexico, and it was someone's birthday. It was RJ's birthday, and the tradition down there, at the time, this is when we were young. Yeah. Was to get a tequila bottle down in Mexico that had a worm in it, and it was for the birthday boy. And
Actually, no, Gary made this up to torture me.
no,
we will not pass it around.
And so there's a little worm in here, right? And so it was actually RJ's worm to drink because it was the birthday boy, and Gary's like,
this is a great
yeah. And so it's going around. We're camping down somewhere in Mexico, having a good time. And then it got to Gary, and in the moment, Gary just was like, okay, yeah, like I'll just have a big swig. And unbeknownst to Gary, he drank
Crushed the
RJ's
worm.
worm.
And I was really disappointed. Really.
And the thing is he like kind of afterwards he kind of looked at it. He kind of realized he's like, oh God, I drank the worm. And he didn't like mess up to it. He was just like, there you go. I mean, that's basically the story. It's a great moment where I remember Gary just like being in the moment, taking out the worm. So, I mean, what you can give this to RJ? You can let RJ finish.
We're saying it. I feel like
That's swing.
Jason just passed the tradition back to Gary. We don't do that. We don't do that in this class. A tradition is a tradition.
The last thing I want to talk about is it's kind of a serious thing, but it's like it's like who Gary is, and it's about like sometimes on different levels of relationships with people with Gary, you'll feel tension with Gary, and I feel it a lot because like.
You're really gassed.
It's like like it's on different levels with everyone. But basically, what I realized when I was thinking about how to roast him, and I was thinking about like there's sometimes there's like tense moments with Gary, and I realized what it is, and it's he really like loves all of us, and in a way, he's fighting for your relationship. So if you ever feel a moment where there's like a tense knot, like gosh, like what's up with Gary? Like this is kind of tense, and I've noticed it. And I've seen it with other people. What it is he's like fighting to be close to you, whether it's your coworker, your friend, your family, like, and that's Gary fighting to be close, And so I would just say thank you, Gary, for fighting, like in this day and age with people who don't really care. Like that's all you do is care. Like that's it, dude. I love you, man.
Cry.
Thank you. Got him. Thanks for fighting, dude.
Crying in football?
Oh my God, he's only turning 40.
But you really back half of your life when you start crying.
Wait till the dreads go gray.
Oh man.
Okay, here comes the worm.
Here you go, RJ. No. It's all about
Mike's
you,
still
baby.
You had to write it out. We're not
Notes?
listening or reading. Are you kidding?
I wrote it out. I
Come
just
on.
decided it would be my card. So, anyways, G, there is something so unique and special about having a brother like you. To have stood by each other's sides in the inspiring, jaw-dropping moments of family, surf, endless meals, and conversations, travel, celebrations, firsts, and the darker moments, which are also a fact of life and unavoidable. I have stood by you in these moments, and your larger-than-life presence has stood by me, has stood strong for me. Whether it's running a marathon, getting married, creating strange and ridiculous Mexico traditions, sitting in a lineup and catching up, we're celebrating our first children. We have a bond built upon a strong foundation of time and nourished by moments of laughter, tears, snoring. It's true. It's nasty. Actually,
Wait, isn't that good?
I take that back. It's filthy.
There you go.
It's filthy. Filthy snore. And just some advice given, which you're known to do time to time, and just being present. If we could all count the moments when G has dropped everything just to show up for us, we get a sense of what an immense privilege it is to be your friend, your brother, your cousin, your wife, and your son.
I don't want to be his wife.
Well, yeah. And 40 years, you have made us laugh so hard we cried. Like the time, coincidentally, just a funny story, I guess, never heard it before, like the time you accidentally swallowed the worm in salsa puedes, tried to pass the bottle off, along like no one would notice. Well, finally making us open another bottle, so you could dutifully proceed in ensuring that my birthday was complete. You have stood by and humbly witnessed our moments of strength and vulnerability, distracting us if we dwell too long in either, but always reminding us of how important it is to live fully and surround yourself with what brings you the most joy. You make the most out of situations, and in your 40 years, you have demonstrated amazing qualities that captivate all of us and make me proud to claim the right to call you my brother. G, I know we will witness a lifetime in this brotherhood of each other. If I can bring the same energy to our friendship that you bring, that smile as big as the G, I will be a happy man.
Yay. Yay.
You know, kids don't
Not bad for 40. Yeah, they must have missed something about the roast.
You don't always have to roast. Crush. Crush your enemies. You don't always have to see them driven before you. But you can hit them.
Devastation of
Paul's got something.
I've been cued. I've been cued to go, but first I got to say some words
Here, I'll move it.
from.
You want to sit down?
No. I got to say some words from someone who's not able to be here with us.
Oh, the dog, Neil, in the house.
Nope. Someone else. First, hold on. First, I'll read the email here.
The mind's like, what?
Just you wait, buddy.
This is off track.
All right. Hey man, I put together a story for Gary's roast. I put it together pretty quick, so it may need a little proofreading. Hell, it may make no sense at all. Wish I was there to deliver this myself. I fully expect that you will represent the cause here. Please do whatever you need to cut out items to make it more readable. I didn't know your point of view, so
Just
feel
like
to
Paul, they just
write
crush
yourself
it, they
into
read the
this
whole
story
email.
wherever you like. Thanks for telling me about this. I was laughing pretty hard putting this together. I hope you all have a good time today. I do miss the company of my San Diego friends. Keep in touch. Mark. All right. Once I got word that you were turning 40 and were being roasted,
This is from Benson?
Yeah, it's from Benson.
Then you know what it is, Gary.
I tried to remember a story from the past that would be truly
There's
worthy.
only one, dude.
I like to call this tale Great Balls of Fire.
There's only one. The children's ears.
This story comes from a time back when we were living in Mission Beach. One afternoon, Gary and I were walking around by Paul, Neil, and I's apartment, and Gary tells me that he has some chafe. You want to know if there was something you could do about that? Now, we didn't have a lot of money for entertainment during those times, so when moments like these come up, you must take full advantage of the situation. First, you have to understand one thing about Gary. This man carries so much sand around in his board shorts with him that he was often referred to as Sandman. During this time, Gary may have been a little heavier than he is now, and after walking around all day, there was a lot of sandy thigh rubbing that was
Much information.
Everybody get a good mental picture.
Now, with this type of injury, one must be very careful in the selection of a remedy. I tell Gary that every morning after I shower, I put powder on my southern jewelry to try to avoid these chafing issues. As my evil wheels continue to turn, I suggest that Gary go back to the back bathroom, dump out a heaping handful of powder, and apply it to the affected areas. Now, this isn't your mommy's normal baby powder. This is Gold Bond Medicaid. This stuff is strong. Makes your man head kind of tingle for about 30 minutes after you put it on. As Gary's in the back bathroom, I am feeling the slightest bit guilty, taking advantage of a friend in need. And then all of a sudden, I hear the most terrible scream that I ever heard from a person. It started off with, you gotta quote Gary's voice, "Oh my God!"
Oh, you did that well.
And continued to rise to an
That just brought it right back to me right there, dude.
ear-piercing scream only heard from a 12-year-old girl at a Justin Bieber concert. I witnessed this too, so this is all.
Yeah, it's all my room.
I was suddenly concerned. I looked down the hall only to find my friend staring down the hall at me in disbelief. He had his shorts at his ankles and his boxers at his knees and his jewelry tightly grasped in his hands.
Oh my God.
I could tell that he was feeling more than a little tingle. I don't think I've ever seen Gary this big. He starts to run as fast as he can at me, down the hallway, taking little 6-inch steps that his shorts and boxers would allow. I feared for my life when, overcome with pain, Gary suddenly dives into Neil's bathroom and immediately throws his jewelry into the sink and begins splashing as much cold water on the situation as he can.
Oh, man.
I was helpless, defenseless, overcome with laughter. Thank God the gold bond bonded so well, or I don't know how the story would have turned out. Happy birthday, Gary. I can't begin to thank you for all the laughs and times we spent together. Your friend, Mark Benson, a.k.a. Big Perm.
That's good.
That hurts so bad. That's so clearly.
That was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen with
Very good.
you. So, DeMarcus, you, happy birthday. You're not supposed to lead into me now? All right.
Oh yeah.
Black book.
Benson.
No, but I thought the black book was gone.
Oh, no. I still need
It looks actually a little fancier.
So I think as many of us start jotting things down about Gary, like where the hell do I start?
Yeah.
And I'll start at the beginning. And talking to Jess, I figured the best way to say it is just Gary's kind of an anomaly. It's like we moved to Mission Beach and we see this black dude in the neighborhood and he surfs and kind of like he's a big dude and we're kind of we're little like Kansas kids. I'm freaked out about him, kind of shy. And we find out he's an engineer in Mission Beach. Mission Beach is all kind of hood rats. So, engineer, surfs, and so we just become good friends with them, and that was where it all started. And once we got to know Gary, we figured out his little, I don't know how to call them, like phases, or just his stubborns, what do we call it, Jess?
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Wherever Gary is and whatever he's doing, that's the best thing that there is, right there and right then, and that's for everyone else. So like,
In the moment.
yeah, like
Drink your tequila worm.
living in La Mesa, that was the best thing. Yeah, live in La Mesa.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, 110, not so bad in the summer. But then all of a sudden, when a smoker gets thrown out into the canyon, it's like, oh, La Mesa sucks. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, the hot sake. You went through a hot sake phase. Everything. You come over to his house. He's got a fry pan, and there's hot sake and just like cooking on the stove, and he's drinking hot sake. You come over to watch football, hot sake. Strange. Good. So you went through that phase. That was good. The Oceanside surf. Remember, Neil and I moved down.
Yeah,
Told you,
Oceanside
Oceanside, good surf, good surf. No, down here we got good spots down here. What happens when you move to Oceanside?
Always good.
It's always good in Oceanside.
Always good.
Yep. Now that you've experienced it, now it's always good in Oceanside. So yeah, the roast part. Yeah, I don't know. It's running through my mind. Do we bring up his little butt? Can't really fall. You always see his crack. I don't. I kind of want to be nice to him a little bit. We bring up toe. Thanks for fixing that. I know. Talk to Sturkey.
Yeah.
But it's hard to roast you, man. I mean, everything, all the times are good with you. A lot of laughs. And the best time I got to talk about is Gabby Ice.
Yeah. Oh.
You and I, you just call me up midweek, skip work, we head down, bribe the guards at the gate to get a pad, and it's just some of the best surf I think. I mean, best surf I've ever had, and not only that, but just the best time I had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the two of us, one other guy in the water. Yeah, it was awesome, and just beyond that, I mean. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to roast you because just thinking about you, talking about you, everyone smiles. Everyone loves being around you. And cheers. Love you.
Cheers.
And I'm just gonna say a couple words. And I just want, this is kind of cheesy, but Gary's ready for this. There's no gift that I could give you that could compare to the gift of love that you have given me for the last 18 plus years. You brought so much joy and honesty and excitement to my life through the triumphs and the tragedies, the whole thing. And the one thing that I always know is that you're beside me, holding my hand always. I love you, and you just keep getting better. Happy for you.
So do you.
Okay, that's it.
Aw.
That's nice.
18
Happy
years?
birthday.
Holy crap, you're old.
And they called it a roast.
I know.
Talk some more.
I know. I
Say
didn't.
something else, Joe.
Stop laughing and
It's nice your father-in-law can take part.
I would have talked longer if I known it was going to get so gushy.
I got lucky.
We actually have a video from Neil, but I have to hook the computer up for it, from Neil and Christine. So I'll get that hooked up.
And you know what?
Aw.
What is that, a swear word?
No.
It's
Awesome.
It is a 4-letter word, but
I like that. Is it blue?
All right. Thank you for not testing me. You guys are awesome.
I don't know. The gold bar looks pretty
I
good.
survived. Spelled awesome. Thank you.
I thought it was going to be like Dave. I was going to try to Skype him.
Like Dave and Sandy
It just brought back memories of wrestling camp. We got a guy with Ben game one time. Let's go.
And Neil really is a roaster. Neil really does cook pretty
Alright,
good.
light it
So
up.
I know. I'll plug it in.
Where are we going?
So much to talk about.
Zoom in on my eye.
Why? Because not enough people tell you you have nice eyes anymore.
Isn't that a nice eye? Look closely. Come on.
You can't see it, babe. I don't know how to turn this